here with Jackie Arendse talking about tax and the impact of the new budget. And something that really has interested me for quite a long time is the whole concept of the Laffer Curve. And my understanding is that the Laffer Curve really, Jackie, is when you get to a point where it basically, you want to charge people more for tax or get more tax out of your top level, but there gets a point where it's so much that people start finding ways to avoid tax and maybe evade. We've got to decide which one it is, but that position on the Laffer Curve changes the enthusiasm maybe of people to contribute to the fiscus.
Yeah, very much so. And a huge part of tax compliance theory and tax recovery hinges on the value proposition. And when people feel they're getting value for what they're spending, they will feel not quite as negative. I mean, none of us likes to pay tax, but if you can see the benefit of what you're paying, you feel less negative about it. So that's the one aspect, is to know that your money is being well spent. But then, of course, even with tax rates, the idea in theory is the higher the tax rate, the more tax you collect. But economists have shown that over a period of time that is not the case, because you reach this point, which is now referred to as a Laffer curve, where this curve, the curve literally keeps going up. So the more the tax rate increases, the more your collections. But then there comes a point where it actually starts tapering off. And that would prove that your tax rate has gone beyond a tolerance level, really. And it's something that is often difficult to predict in advance, but you can certainly see it happening when it has already happened. And I think, for example, South Africa, the move of the 45% tax rate, a lot of people are thinking that that has pushed people beyond the Laffer curve, beyond the top point of that Laffer curve. And so when people are getting to that kind of tax rate, bearing in mind the value that they feel that they're getting or not getting from the tax system, that they would do whatever it takes to minimize their tax. I'm not suggesting evasion, but even within allowable things, they will, for example, invest in venture capital companies. They will max out their retirement fund contributions. They will donate to try and get the benefit of the Section 18A deduction.
So not all bad. Some of the things.
No, I would like to say, we're talking about things that are happening in the legally permissible framework. Of course, evasion is another thing altogether. But even in the legally permissible framework, people would take steps to try and reduce their tax liability. And so your tax rate goes up, but your actual tax collections come down. Yeah.
Well, that is so interesting. Thank you, Jackie.